welcome to episode 127 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak, a place for all your nerdy needs on BigRedBarel.com. My name is Alex, I'm the host for this episode. I'm also self-appointed Baroness of Butts, and joining me is the jauntily jubilant juggernaut of Joe.
Hello! I have returned!
I know! And did you hear me? I said that without stumbling.
I know, it was really good. I'm impressed. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes, so I have returned after a week's absence. I'm sorry.
We missed you. How's your week? Been okay?
Yeah, the snow's been fun to deal with, getting to Oxford for work, but yeah, it's been alright, hasn't it? Not too bad.
How's your cat dealing with the snow?
He's so fun. He's so cute, like, because he wants to go out, but he doesn't at the same time. So this morning, I think he just got completely desperate and he was like, I must go out! So from about 5 o'clock this morning, he was moaning, like, please let me out. So I let him out at about 7, I think it was, and just watching him, like, run across the snow and leaving these huge footprints in the snow. And then he's obviously gone off and done what he needed to do and then sprinting back into the house. So now he's curled up on the bed, having a nap. So
I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
What is this white fluff? And why is it so wet?
Cute. I know. He's like, oh, it's so cold on my feet. Yeah, bless him. So yeah, no, he's okay, but he doesn't enjoy it because he likes to be outside and he can't really right now. It's too cold. So.
Aw, poor Charlie.
I know, poor Charlie.
Well, guys, as you've gathered, we're a duo this week. So this is either going to be us going on a complete tangent on things, and it's going to be a really long podcast, or it's actually going to be short and sweet, so who knows. Anyway, let's start with our time waster of the week, and this time waster comes courtesy of StealthyJoe, who sent us the Templin Institute channel. So they do videos where they investigate nations, organizations, and factions of alternate worlds, which is quite cool. So obviously when I went on there, the first video I've ever watched was the Ministry of Magic from Harry Potter universe. And I have to say, I'm a big Harry Potter nerd, so this video hasn't told me anything that I don't know, but it was quite interesting to hear the story from the perspective of a government rather than from the perspective of the characters. And they have a lot of videos about sort of, I guess, made-up governments from different things. So they've got just some of the examples of the videos they have. The State of Galaxy in Star Trek Discovery. United Nations Space Command from Halo.
Oh, yeah.
The Best and the Worst Fictional Flags and Emblems.
Oh, cool.
The Chimera from The Resistance. Imperium of Man from Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, nice.
Romulan Star Empire, Star Trek, and so on. So, First Order Star Wars. Hello. That would need a lot of explanation for me, actually.
That'd be like a hefty episode.
So I think they're all quite good. They're all scripted and narrated with some good visuals. All about 10 minutes or 15 at the most. So if you want to know more about the structure of imaginary government or imaginary nation, then there you go. The Templin Institute.
That's pretty cool. Like, some of the work that goes into building up the lore of some of these backstories and things like that for films and games and stuff, it's really cool. And all the little, the different organisations and stuff. So, yay.
Yeah, and sometimes they're not advertised as much,
the
lore in the world building. And I think it's nice that there's someone who specifically goes out there and seeks that information out and puts it in a database for you.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Okay, but there you go. That's the time waster of the week. The link to the YouTube channel is going to be description below. And thank you, StealthyJoe, for sending it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on to the news. And now, the most important news of the year.
Sure.
New season of Expanse is coming on April the 11th. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Give me a sec while I'm doing a little my party in my chair. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, you carry on.
Yeah,
you carry on.
Yeah. I know you don't care.
No, I tried. I really did try because I know of many people, well, not many, but quite a few people who love this show, but I just could not get into it at all. It's not for me, but carry on. Enjoy.
Yeah, so it's going to be airing on Sci-Fi. It's season 3. There's not much information. There's a little teaser trailer but they haven't really revealed anything from it. They've been kind of secretive about it. Or maybe you could say they're being good at keeping their plot and not showing all of it in the trailers. But now you've been, made aware. April the 11th is the date. Expect everyone to have their TVs on watching it. But otherwise, they usually put the whole season on Netflix after some time. After significant time, because I remember watching season 2 somewhere in winter, and then I think it came to Netflix summerish. So it does take a while for them to get there, but they do get there. So there you go. Okay, next news. Kristen Wiig wanted for Wonder Woman 2 Cheetah.
Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? Like, I don't know much about sort of a lot of the Wonder Woman sort of lore and villains and stuff, but apparently Cheetah is like the big villain in Wonder Woman. Cheetah is like her nemesis or something. Please, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong. But so it seems like for the second film, they're going in with like her biggest enemy. So that could be quite cool.
As far as I understand, they're still not going to go to the present day as well. So this is going to be interesting.
Ah.
And actually for the better, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I kind of like the more of the period pieces. But in terms of Kristen Wiig, it's surprising. I know everyone knows her for her comedic roles.
Yeah.
But I never much cared for her comedy. Like, I never found them that funny.
Like, I do like Bridesmaids. I think actually Bridesmaids is like a very well written comedy, and it is actually pretty good. I've never really been a huge fan of sort of that sort of thing either myself.
I mean, the one role where I really like her and she's really understated and not at all comedic was in The Martian, the little bit that she had.
Oh yes, and actually she was in Mother.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and obviously that's a massive departure from a lot of stuff she's done before, and she was very good in that. She was very believable and sinister. So yeah, I think actually she could do all right with this. This could be quite good. The only thing that worries me slightly is I don't want it to become like a CGI weird thing where she's like some woman CGI
where she's actually a cheetah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It could look really camp and stupid, but I have faith in Patty Jenkins that it will not look camp and stupid.
Yeah, I hope. I hope DC will finally move away from the CGI characters.
Yes.
I was telling you this off the mic because I attempted to watch Justice League before going to bed. Fell asleep.
That's the best thing.
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes in, but I did get a glimpse of Steppenwolf and I went, oh my god.
He's so bad. He's got proper mother issues as well. Like, he's a weirdo.
Oh, whatever.
No, let's never talk about Justice League again. Let's just have it fade away into obscurity.
Well, from one upsetting topic of Justice League to another upsetting topic.
Dear God.
Trump apparently is going to meet with members of video game industry, but I don't think members of video game industry have really gotten the message or been told that Trump's meeting them.
Honestly, what is he? I mean, yeah, Trump is just Trump, isn't he? And this is just the most ridiculous response to the Parkland shooting and all other American shootings. Yeah. He's just completely tone deaf, isn't he? Like, he's just like, so many people, ban guns, please, we need gun control, please, which is absolutely right. They need serious gun control. And he said, he's like, I think violent video games are the problem. Dear God, man.
Well, he also blamed movies and all that kind of stuff
exactly.
as well.
It's like we've gone back 20 years to when people were kicking off in the 90s about violent films and games. And it seems to go round in circles, like you have it over and over again, like with the video nasty debacle of the 80s. And it's just so silly.
It's sort of an easy way out, right? To blame the media for being violent.
And it plays to his user base as well, because a lot of them are really afraid of technology. So...
Yeah. I mean, look, to me, just let's go into a little bit because there's just two of us, so we might as well, into a little, of the concept of the violent video games. And I absolutely don't believe it, because so many things could project violence. You know, you could be reading something and feel violent.
Yeah,
you
it's
could
nonsense.
be playing something, watching a movie. Someone could be talking to you and incite violence. You know, I frankly get more violent than the idiots speaking to me from a TV screen that I've ever played video game. So this is completely not true. And then, blame video games and violent media for shooting. Well, shooting still only happens in America. Look at the little correlation there.
I know, it's just, the answer is so clear, but because they're so attached to their guns and the idea of the guns, they can't separate the two. And you look at some traditional works of art, like some of the classic art pieces from hundreds of years ago. Some of them are exceedingly violent to look at. Some of the biblical depictions in classic works, really, really violent. But you never get anyone talking about banning that or limiting that.
Well, look, good, because otherwise we'll be living in an equilibrium world.
Yeah, and that's what worries me a little bit when this keeps coming up and up, is that people are ignoring the problem and they're just targeting a convenient scapegoat, which is artistic expression.
Yeah, and it's an easy scapegoat because not a lot of people, unless you are a gamer yourself, a lot of people look at video games with prejudice.
Yeah.
So saying, something is bad and video games contribute, it immediately gets a resonance because there's so many people that don't understand and don't want to understand and think negatively about it already. It's just a really easy way out. Here's the thing, after he said all that stuff, he said, apparently his press secretary went, he's gonna meet with the video game people, whoever they are, and discuss it.
The video game people. You can just imagine the idiocy that will come out of his mouth because he doesn't understand video games. It'll be things, I've seen so many Twitter jokes about what he'll say to people. So there was one where some guy was saying about, that Donkey Kong, right? He's not really a donkey. He's actually an ape. He's actually like a monkey. And that's just Trump all over. I can't remember who that Twitter post was by now. I definitely liked it. I might have to retweet it again or something.
But I mean, in America, as far as I understand, as far as I'm reading from this article from Kotaku, written by Jason Schreier, giving it credit, who I'm stealing all the info from, but they've got lobbyist group Entertainment Software Association, who would be the people that you would need to speak about this, but they apparently have not been approached. So post this news, Jason Schreier tweeted out, would be like, anyone who's going to that meeting, could you please let me know? And people were like, I don't think anyone is. So we don't know who he's meeting, but that's not us. And if it's not us, then
who actually is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really weird. I feel like they just said it, as always. They just said it to say it and not really think through that they need to arrange meetings and actually meet people and talk to people and do stuff.
Yeah.
So as always, the hilarity ensued. Well, the sad hilarity.
It is. It's depressing. Nothing will come of it. It's just more Trump bluster. He'll talk about it for a bit, and it's just a good way of sidestepping the actual discussion that needs to happen and the action that needs to happen, which is to stop selling assault rifles to people. There's no world where people in America, your normal everyday people, that they need to be able to go and buy an assault rifle. I'm sorry, but they just don't need to. And the fact that they can do that needs to change. And that's the problem. And it winds me up a lot with this, all of the coverage of this, is that they were talking about how the shooter had mental health issues and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, probably. It's almost certain that he had severe mental health issues. But who removed all the mental health the proficiencies in the American healthcare system? Trump did. So
Woo!
If anyone's looking for someone to blame Trump.
Some people do, but in actuality, probably won't amount too much. But yeah, look, we're not a political podcast, so I don't know to what extent we can actually, talk about this with the balanced and well-versed opinions. I certainly can. You probably can better than me. Yeah, I however, do feel sorry for all political podcasts that have to cover Trump, and basically it's like, how do you talk about a thing that does not make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
Should we go into better things?
Yeah, should we talk about nicer things?
Yay! So guys, there's a new hero for Overwatch, so it's Overwatch over on Geek Speak.
Oh,
Woohoo!
She's so cool. Oh, I love her. So this is Brigitte, who is Torbjorn's daughter, Reinhardt's goddaughter. She was named by Reinhardt, so that's why she has a German version of the name. And she's just brilliant. I've played her a little bit on PTR this morning, and she's so cool. So she has a little mini shield, like a Reinhardt shield. It's kind of like a riot officer shield.
Yeah.
And she can dash forward a little bit and bash people with the shield. And then she has this flail melee weapon where she just whips them with, and she can do a long range whip like Roadhog does with his hook. And for her ultimate, she does a rally. ability, which speeds her up and gives everyone in the area of effect like a bit of an armor boost and kind of heals their armor. She's so cool. I can see me sort of taking to her quite well when she goes live, actually in the game. She's super fun.
She looks really cool, and I like that she's sort of a mix between a support and a tank a little bit, because not many of the support characters can go in the front line. I mean, Moira has a potential of dipping in and out, but she has to be really careful.
She's like a flanky support, isn't she? Like flank supporter. But Brigitte's like a support tank hybrid, and it's just awesome. She's proper frontline.
And I also can't help but think that the Overwatch team is finally sending people a message. Play supports and tanks, people. Play supports and tanks. Here you go. We're giving you a new character who's a mixture. Yeah. Wink, wink.
See, this is the thing. Like, obviously, when she goes live, loads of people will want to play her because she's new. So that means you're guaranteed a support and a tank in your comp. So, yay!
Finally, woohoo!
I mean, I love playing supports and tanks. That's who I main. I'm a Mercy main, and I play D.Va a lot, and Orisa, and Zenyatta and stuff. And I love playing those characters. But just once, it would be lovely to have someone else play a tank as well, or another healer, rather than 5 DPS running around. It's like, please, come on, guys! Do you want to win?
I am surprised, I have to say. I thought they'd be adding a defense character, and they've added another support, which I'm not complaining, because better variety of supports, the better for me, for us personally, since we're support mains. But just not being a defense character in a very long while. Have they even added a defense character?
No.
Because they've got Doomfist and Sombra, who are attack, Anna, Moira support, Orisa, who is a tank.
Yeah, so no, we've not had an actual defense, like a new defense. But to be honest, there was a few defense characters to begin with, and you've got the best ones in Torbjorn and Symmetra. So you don't actually. I love Junkrat. I really love Junkrat.
Well, I don't love playing against Junkrat, but
no.
Yes.
Yeah, he's horrible to play against, but awesome to play. And we have Mei, and Mei is absolutely brilliant, again, when you're playing with one on your team and not on the opposite team.
I always find her creeping behind me, and then I'm like, why can't I move? Oh, I'm being frozen! Damn it!
So like I say, I play a lot of D.Va, especially on Capture the Flag, and there's nothing more irritating than getting the flag and being like, yes, I've got it! And you're running, you go in, and then you just feel yourself slowing, and you're like, no! And you just get that sound effect of her ice just building on you from behind, and you're like, no, May, no! And you just can't do anything about it. Good times.
It's great that they added Brigitte, but I've not realized, I don't know, to me, the distance between when they added Moira, like, I was still thought as Moira of a new character, and then they're like, hey, we got here at 27. I'm like, hello, what happened?
It's been quite quick, hasn't it? Like, she's come sort of out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, hey, here's another new character, enjoy!
Well, yeah.
Like I say, I'm not really complaining, because I think she looks brilliant, and she looks like a character that I'll play a lot, so...
Yeah, I obviously haven't played her, because I'm still a console noob Overwatch player. So she's obviously not there.
I think it'll be like a couple of weeks, isn't it? Usually like a couple of weeks on PTR, and then they get into the live game, I think. So
yeah, possibly.
But yeah, she's really, really cool, and I'm really looking forward to all like the little voice lines that you'll get between her and Torbjorn and her and Reinhardt, when you're like in Spawn and they have their little conversations. I think that's going to be cool, because the Lindholm lore is just really, really interesting, like how she built Reinhardt's armor, and it's just cool. She's so cool.
Yeah, because Torbjorn is basically the person who does all of... It's not he's mechanic in a sense of way, but like he builds armor and stuff like that, and that's what she learned from him.
Yeah, they're
but then
like
she
engineers.
went to Squire for... Yeah, engineer, thank you. And then she went to Squire for Reinhardt, and that's fix his armor, and that's when she realized she wanted to be an actual fighter as well.
Like a Reinhardt and Brigitte double team on a comp is just going to be brilliant. I just because she can repair his armor, like she has a heal that she can throw, like Zenyatta's orbs, and so she repairs armor. And to people that don't that are full, she gives them a little boost, so it's not wasted. I think it's just really, really cool. I love the design. I think she's gonna I remember when they released the video about her, like the developer update video. Jeff Kaplan said she was going to be meta defining, and I think she has the potential to be so. And considering the changes that have just come in for Sombra, she counters that quite well.
The changes for Sombra, right? She can't hack health packs anymore, is that right?
That's actually just gone live straight away. But basically, yeah, she can still hack a health pack, but she doesn't gain any ultimate charge from it anymore.
All right.
So it's got rid of that thing that people used to do where she'd hack a health pack, people would duck out, get a bit of damage, come back, use the health pack just to build up her EMP. So it doesn't charge that anymore. So now she actually has to flank and be more like an assassin. So her hack is faster now on enemy teams.
Good, because those tracers are annoying.
Yeah, so now it's like a 0.6, it's like really quick. She's just like, phew, hacked. Her weapon spread has been reduced. So it takes more skill, but you do more damage. Like, so if you've got those headshots nailed, she's gonna really do some damage. There was some, her translocate lasts longer now. It lasts 20 seconds rather than 15.
Okay, cool.
So you can see they're really trying to kind of get to her to be used more as like a stealth assassin type thing, where she, rather than just relying so heavily on EMP, she's going to be much more about getting in there and getting the squishies and doing the damage and really disrupting the enemy team. So I think it's good, and Brigitte is quite a good counter to that in a few ways because of her ability. So I think the two of them are going to define the new meta, which should be quite nice, make a nice bit of change.
Okay, so this has been our Overwatch hour, people.
Yeah, anyone who's not interested, I'm sorry.
We might actually return to it in a bit once both of us have played Brigitte, and I'm sure we'll have more things to say.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about it later. Moving on from Overwatch, we decided to play a little Oscar game. So Oscars are happening this Sunday. Our podcast is coming out on Monday, so whatever we say is going to be completely irrelevant. So we thought, hey, it'll be fun.
We're the very highly relevant podcast.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to do our picks for the 5 main categories. Not all of them, because we don't have that much time, but for the 5. And the trick is we're going to pick not who we think will win, but who we want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to start with supporting actresses.
Yes.
Who we have: Mary J. Blige for Madbound, Alison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water.
Yeah, it's a good mix. There's some really nice actresses in there, really good performances. I haven't been lucky enough to see I, Tonya yet. I really, really want to see it, but I haven't had the opportunity. But from what I have seen, from clips and whatnot, my money and who I want to win is on Alison Janney this year.
I think you'll be right. She'll actually win this category.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's, from what I've heard, it's an incredible performance, like, of an actual quite unlikable character. So, yes. I loved Octavia Spencer in The Shape of Water. She's wonderful. I don't think it's a challenging role in the same way that Alison Janney's role is. So, yes, that's who I would like to win.
Not a vote, because my vote is irrelevant in this matter, but I'm gonna pitch for Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird.
Nice.
I haven't seen Lady Bird, but from clips and things that I've heard, I think what is really sort of hard about this performance is that it's supposed to be so understated and so normal and so kind of in life. And I don't think people realize how hard this is actually to do and how much work and preparation and practice and acting comes into it. So this might look very sort of, I don't know, normal on a screen, something you would expect from everyday life, not something that immediately stands out, but because this is really, really hard to do, I'm gonna say Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, for me, personally.
It's a good shout. Laurie Metcalf's a very underappreciated actress. She's had such a long career. Like, I remember her from the Roseanne show and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And, because I am that old. And
be quiet.
She's done some great things, and yeah, it's really, really nice that she's nominated, and I would second that. She'd be probably my second choice, I think.
Okay, so now moving on to supporting actor. William Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards. Now, you've obviously seen 3 Billboards, so
yes,
you have opinions.
Yes, I've seen, obviously, of this list, 3 Billboards and The Shape of Water. Haven't been fortunate enough to see Florida Project or All the Money in the World yet.
I have Florida Project ready for me to start watching.
Yeah, I would quite like to see it at some point. I feel like Christopher Plummer, as great an actor as he is, he's in there because of the controversy around his casting in that film to begin with.
See, that's why I want him to win.
Yeah.
Because I want everyone to go, ha! It was supposed to be Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, suck it, Kevin
nothing.
Spacey.
Yeah, nothing.
For me, there's a clear leader here, and it's Sam Rockwell. There's been quite a bit of backlash to his character and to 3 Billboards after it was released. I won't go into details because of spoilers, but basically I feel like he does a lot with a very challenging role, and it's not what you'd expect. And my money is on Sam Rockwell. I would really like him to win. I think he's deserved to win before for other films, and he should win this year for this.
Yeah, and I actually think Sam Rockwell has high chance of actually winning.
Yeah, I think he will. I feel like of the 5, he is the strong leader, so hopefully he will actually win. Yeah.
Well, I'm sticking to my choice of Christopher Plummer because it'd be funny.
It would be good. It would definitely be good.
Yep, that's my whole reasoning. I'm sticking to it. Okay, moving on to lead actresses.
Yes.
Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep for The Post.
Oh, I'm torn on this one. This one's really tough.
Sally Hawkins and Frances McDormand, is it?
They're both brilliant performances in very different ways. Sally Hawkins is just so elegant, and she does so much with that wonderfully expressive face that she's got. She's just fantastic in it. But Frances McDormand too, she's just, oh my God. No, I can't decide. Either of those two, that's it. I'm saying both of them, please. I can't decide. They're both too good. I think Frances McDormand will win it, but I'd be happy for her or Sally Hawkins to take it.
Well, the only reason I kind of don't want her to win is because she's been winning everything since our whole award season has begun, and I'm like, give someone else a spotlight, goddammit, woman. I know you're brilliant, but come on!
You're just too good!
Yeah. I kind of personally want Margot Robbie to win.
Yeah, I've heard she's great in it. I still can't forgive her for Suicide Squad, though, because that film's appalling. And yeah,
hey, she was the best thing in the Suicide Squad. She saved it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's not massively her fault, but she's still part of it, so she's still got the taint of Suicide Squad on her. But yeah, I really want to see I, Tonya. She looks great in it, so that's like third choice. And of course, it's nice to see Meryl Streep in there, so often overlooked for her acting ability.
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
The rare nomination that gets thrown her way.
We've got lead actor Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and then Denzel Washington from Ramon G. Israel.
Yeah.
Now, Gary Oldman is gonna win, so let's just leave him out of it.
I want him to win, actually, but not for Darkest Hour. I essentially want him to win for his entire career rather than for that particular film. Gary Oldman, it would be nice to see like a little Daniel Kaluuya win, because I can imagine his face would just be a picture on the stage. He'd be like, I don't know what to say. It'd be amazing.
He's not gonna win. I want him to win. That's the one I'm cheering for in this category, but he's not gonna win.
The fact that he's nominated at all is wonderful. Like it's so good. Denzel won't win because I don't think anyone's even heard of that film. I don't even know where that's come from. I feel like he's just kind of rounding out the numbers. Timothée Chalamet, that's a potential, because that film has been really like appreciated and well regarded, but it hasn't sort of had the same momentum as some of the others. So it would be quite that would be like an Oscar surprise, which sometimes they like to throw in. So
surprise!
Yeah, like, surprise, we're giving it to this guy. Like, what? Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah, I mean, this is apparently his final film. He's meant to be retired.
Yeah, apparently.
We'll so that could work in his favour, but I feel like, yeah, it's Gary Oldman's by leagues, really. They've wanted an excuse to give him one for years, so yeah, I think the little bald man is his.
Okay, so we think Gary Oldman will win. You also want Gary Oldman to win. I want Daniel Kaluuya to win, but that's not going to happen. Okay, got directors.
Yes.
We've got Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan, Get Out, Jordan Peele, Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig, Phantom Thread, Paul Thomas Anderson, and The Shape of Water, Guillermo del Toro. Now, I know who you're going to say.
I want Guillermo to win this. I feel like Guillermo del Toro has waited long enough. This should be his. I don't think he's won for Best Director before. I'm sure he's been nominated. I don't know if memory serves, but I want him to win. It's a beautiful, beautiful film, and it's so him. Like, he is the auteur of that film, and he should win. 100%. It's his, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm divided between Get Out and Lady Bird. I want to cheer for them both.
Yeah.
This is a hard category for me. I was so happy when Greta Gerwig and Jordan Peele got nominated because I was afraid they were going to get overlooked. And when they got nominated, I was like, yes, that's Oscars did it right. And so I can't choose. Don't make me choose.
I didn't have to choose before for Best Actress, so that's fine. But I feel like as awesome as Get Out is, and the fact that Greta Gerwig's been absolutely brilliant, I feel like the nominations alone are the win for those. I don't feel like either of them that this is their time to win it. Guillermo should have won before for Pan's Labyrinth. He will hopefully win now.
Yeah.
Guillermo, definitely.
So we think Del Toro will win. You also want Del Toro to win. I want either Peele or Gerwig to win. There you go. Okay, and last but absolutely not least, we've got Best Picture.
Oh, I can't decide.
Okay, I haven't even read out their names, woman. Okay, so we've got Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and Free Billboards. Now, is it just me, or this is like quite a large category this year? They're not always as large. Can't remember it being as large last year.
It varies depending on the year. Like, I think it's at least 5, but it can be up to 10. I think it depends on the year. I mean, I remember way back when it was just 5, and that's when people were kind of like, well, this is a bit shit because there's loads of genres that aren't fairly represented, and so they kind of up to the limit. So it's about right, really. But I mean, I feel like some of them are only in there like as a nod, really. Like Darkest Hour won't win. There's no way.
No.
But
I don't think The Post will win.
No, apparently it's brilliant, but it's not had the momentum or the press, and I don't... Because, see, a lot of winning an Oscar isn't necessarily about the talent and the film. It's about the sort of the coverage and the momentum you build up and how popular.
Ain't that disappointing?
And yeah, it's always been like that. It's just, it's just the sort of nature of it. If you manage to capture a bit of a zeitgeist, then you're more likely to win. I mean, look at some of the grievous mistakes that have been made in the past, like when Pulp Fiction didn't win. I mean, it's... The Oscars have a long history of getting it wrong. But for this year... I think 3 Billboards will win it.
Yeah, seems likely.
I'll be quite happy for it to win. It's an extraordinary film. It's brilliantly done. But I want The Shape of Water to win because I love it so much. And I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful film. And it's Guillermo del Toro's best, like up there with Pan's Labyrinth. And yeah, I want it to win. In a year where we've had lots of badness and Trump and all sorts of horribleness, it would be really nice for a romance about a lady and a big fish man to win the best film.
I'm still gonna sing the same tune.
Yeah.
I want Get Out to win because... It's just, we've never seen a movie like this.
No.
And we probably won't ever see something like this unless Jordan Peele writes another one. I think it was really important. I was late to the party with it, and it blew me away instantly.
Yeah.
And just as much as I think, is it in a screenplay category?
I think so. I think it is. Let me just...
this is adapted
yes, original screenplay.
Original screenplay. It's like, look, I think Jordan, well, he probably won't win, but he would absolutely deserve to win because the writing in that movie is absolutely brilliant and so clever.
Yeah.
And so clever. And that's part of the reason why I think I would want it to win Best Picture. It never would.
It won't. And it's extremely rare for a horror or thriller type film like this to win Best Picture. I mean, Silence of the Lambs did it. That won the Big 5, but it's extremely rare. And as brilliant as Get Out is, and I love that film, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It was a little bit far away now. It was released quite a while ago, and I just don't think it has the same awards punch as like 3 Billboards does. So it won't win, but I think it's awesome that it's in there, that it's nominated. It's an important film. It's a brilliant film. It's good, and it's going to be great to see Jordan Peele at the Oscars. It's wonderful.
I know.
It's so cool.
So to sum up the Best Picture category, we think 3 Billboards will win.
Yeah.
But you are cheering for The Shape of Water, and I am cheering for Get Out.
I mean, one thing we can add to this is there's some notable omissions from the Best Picture list. So things like...
the Florida Project, for one.
Yeah. Blade Runner 2049 isn't up for Best Picture or Best Director.
Yeah, that's where you went. Mm-hmm.
But it is up for cinematography, which it should absolutely walk. If Roger Deakins doesn't win for cinematography, I'm setting something on fire. Like... He's been nominated like 13 times and never
14.
won. This is his year. He needs to win. Give him the thing.
The thing is, I'm going to enjoy that category now because I know you're so involved in it. I'm going to be watching it and going, oh, Joe's about to explode. Countdown to 3, 2, 1.
And yeah, things like visual effects and stuff, Blade Runner should definitely win. So it's nice that it's been nominated in those sort of categories, but I feel like a little throw to Best Picture would have been nice because it is an extraordinary film, and the fact that it didn't do so well financially isn't really fair. So yeah, that's my omission.
I don't entirely agree with you. I loved it. I really liked it, but I don't know.
It was my favourite film of last year. I thought it was just magnificent. It was just wonderful. But it's an interesting Oscars this year. I think we've actually got a really good mix of films overall. So I'm interested to see. I won't be staying up and watching it because I'm not insane.
Where would, in UK, where would you even watch it? Sky?
You used to have Sky Movies to watch it. I don't know if that's still the case. But yeah, it used to be like that.
Okay,
but
well,
I will be asleep.
Regardless, it will all, by the time you hear this podcast, it will already have happened.
Yeah.
And all these conversations are going to be hilarious.
Yeah, we're completely irrelevant, and you can just have a good old laugh at how wrong we were. Or...
saying such certainty, this will win.
Yeah.
This did not win.
Yeah, and then we'll be like, next week we'll be like, so we fucked up, didn't we? I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm not. Okay, so we move to our topics.
Sure.
And there's not that much. But, oh god, listeners, I apologize in advance because I know what Joe thinks about her movie. And I'm not that far ahead with mine.
Yeah.
So I randomly decided to watch The Loft on Netflix.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, strap yourself in, Joe.
Oh, I'm excited.
Well, don't be. So the premise of the movie is this 5 toxic masculine guys. They get an apartment, a loft, to share together because that's where they're going to commit all the dirty adultery away from their wives.
I'm out.
And then suddenly they come into the loft and there's a dead body in there.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the things we talk about on Geek Speak movies. Sometimes we talk about them because this was something really great we watched and we want to sort of promote it and advertise it and spread the word. Sometimes we watch it because it's sort of in the zeitgeist, it's a recent thing, we know people will be interested to hear about it. And sometimes we just have to talk about movies because otherwise you spend 2 hours of your life and it amounted to nothing.
It's like I say, I watch the bad films so you guys don't have to.
Yeah, and in the case of Loft... Oh god. So I honestly think, well, I can't say think because I don't know who, I don't want to be that negative, but it feels like someone wrote a porno and at some point someone looked at it and then it went, hang on, for porn movie, it's too much plot. Too much plot, people.
No.
Let's take it out. So then they took out all the sex, but they haven't changed the writing of the plot, and they added just a touch more really, really bad dialogue. And they were like, that's a movie now.
So they took out all the good stuff and added a load of bad stuff.
And somehow they convinced Carl Urban to play one of the lead roles.
No.
And I think he was very confused.
No. Yeah, does he just have that look on his face the whole time of like, why am I here? I must fire my agent.
Yeah, so listen to the cast. Carl Urban, James Marsden, which by the way, Carl Urban and James Marsden should not be in the same movie together because they look too much alike and I get confused who's who. Wentworth Miller, Eric Stonestreet, Matthias Matthias
Schoenaerts.
There you go.
He's a great actor. What's he doing in it?
Being rubbish.
What?
Isabel Lucas, Rachel Taylor.
Rachel Taylor, she's good, yeah.
Kristen Lenham and Robert Wisdom.
There can only be, like, the producer must have something on all these people. Like, he must know where the bodies are buried.
All of those guys had a loft, and he's like, I'll reveal your dirty secret, you have to come to my movie.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It was just, there's not a single thing. Like, it's funny, but it never meant to be funny because it's so ridiculous. The things that the people say in this movie, no normal person would ever say in real life, ever.
Oh dear.
And then it has sex, but like, the sex, it's not even an exciting sex, it's like disgusting. It's like, it's put in all the situation where you're just disgusted. You can't even enjoy two people simulating sex on the screen because you're just disgusted the whole time.
Well, that's just a waste, isn't it?
It is! Why didn't they stick to the porno idea?
Oh dear.
I don't know if that was actually true, but I'm going with it.
Oh dear.
Because if it it was porno, it was porn, it would actually be good.
Oh, that's terrible. How disappointing.
I know. And it's like, there is not a single likable character in there. And the wives are sort of this pathetic things where you never kind of understand what have they ever done for all these 5 men to not like them. And one of them is like clearly abusive to his wife, but we never get more about it. Like, it's just briefly mentioned, but never explored. And the other one is just like serial cheater, and his wife is completely clueless and lovely. Then there's like the couple where the wife is just being grumpy the whole movie. Like, it's just like, what? Guys, don't look. This is my warning. Don't watch The Loft. Go watch some nice porn instead.
Yeah, just go watch porn instead and have a much better time.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Oh. I just kind of justified watching The Loft.
Oh, well, that's, yeah, considering that cast, that is, yeah.
I know, because, look, half the reason I even clicked on it, because it's like, oh, Carl Urban, remember him?
Yeah, he's cool.
In Thor Ragnarok, where he was hilarious and understated, and I was like, oh, that's Carl Urban on the screen. And then I was like, oh, it's Carl Urban on the screen.
It's like Carl Urban's evil twin.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh. Well, it doesn't get much better with my topic, I'm afraid.
You know what? I tried to watch it yesterday. I got bored.
So, ladies and gents, I have watched Mute.
And you will not be mute about it.
To say I am disappointed is an understatement. Right, so Duncan Jones has long time been a director to watch. So Moon, his first film, brilliant film. Source Code, some people say even better than Moon. It's a wonderful, wonderful film, and it's got Jake Gyllenhaal in, so really it's like the perfect film. Warcraft didn't do so well, but a lot of people really liked it, and it did very well abroad. And to be honest, I kind of like Warcraft. I think it's okay.
Hey, it was a video game movie that was kind of okay. I think we should give it a prize.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. It was pretty good. It looked very good, and I think he actually sort of captured the game in quite a good way. So, Warcraft is fine. This sucks. It's so bad, and it's just heartbreakingly, disappointingly bad considering the talent involved. So
okay, so my biggest problem with it, and you'll have to tell me stuff about it. So I started watching it, and then I'm like, why am I watching it? Because I don't understand what is the hook and where the story is.
Exactly.
So basically, Alexander Skarsgård, he can't talk, and that's supposed to hook you to last you the whole movie. And I watched about 20 minutes of it, and still nothing happened. So what the hell is the plot?
Yeah, so there isn't much. It's extremely loose and pointless. So Alexander Skarsgård plays this chap, Leo, who is mute after a childhood accident left him with a damaged voice box, and he's from an Amish background, and his mother wouldn't let him have surgery to repair it, so he's grown up mute, right? He has this girlfriend, Nadira, who for some reason wears blue lipstick a lot, and she looks ridiculous, and she can't act much better, and yeah, she's a bit pointless, and she disappears.
Ah, so I didn't survive until the plot happened. I got bored before.
I think you ducked out a good point, to be honest. So that's kind of the general thrust of the plot. He's trying to navigate his way through this seedy underground mobster type scene to find her because he loves her, and it's a very unconvincing love story. You just can't. It doesn't make much sense. So Paul Rudd, the wonderful Paul Rudd, Ant-Man Paul Rudd, is in it.
Yeah, has a beard, does not look attractive. What's wrong, movie?
Like this enormous big mustache, which to be honest it's quite a strong look on him, but I don't understand it. And he plays this guy called Cactus Bill, who's essentially...
Wait, Cactus?
Cactus Bill, yeah.
Like a plant?
Yeah, everyone calls him
in
Cactus.
In the desert?
Yeah.
Needs water?
Yeah.
Is spiky?
Yeah. And he's gone AWOL from the army, and he's like a surgeon. And his friend Duck, played by Justin Theroux, who's a great actor, but not in this.
Wait. Was he wearing a blonde wig? Because I didn't even see him in the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, that was him in the movie.
He's got like this dreadful blonde shock wig on. Oh my God.
A really weird mustache on Paul Rudd, I can forgive. But why on earth are you making Justin Theroux blonde? Do you not understand the essence of Justin Theroux?
He's quite unrecognisable, and his character is horrible, and it's just so he's in it. They're both like, for some reason, the film, because the main plot where he's trying to find his girlfriend is so thin and pointless and empty, they spend a lot of time with the film focusing on Cactus Bill and Justin Theroux's character, who's called Duck, by the way, because why not?
Cactus. So one is a plant and the other one's a bird. Great.
Yeah. And it sort of focuses on their side story. And some of that, I won't go into details again, spoilers, but some of it becomes quite unsavoury and unnecessarily so with regards to Duck's character and his character motivations. It becomes quite unpleasant, and there's no reason for it. I found it very distasteful, and I thought, well, this makes no point at all, and it's completely unnecessary. So yeah, so that stuff aside, but it's just completely incoherent. Like, the way the characters behave and the way the plot is uncovered makes almost no sense for a lot of the time. You're expected to fill in a lot of gaps in the plot yourself, but no characters behave in a way that would actually make sense. So you're constantly like, well, hang on, why did he do that? That makes absolutely no sense at all. If he'd done this, then this would... And the world is so derivative. Like, obviously it's very modelled around films like Blade Runner and many other sci-fi films that have done it much better. So visually, it can look quite striking because it's stolen it from better films. So it looks really bland in that when you compare it to much better films. And the world that they try to build is a world that sort of obviously there's technology everywhere and it's hinged on things like that. But then Leo does things that you kind of think, well, hang on a second. Why has he done that when he lives in a world where he could do this and save himself a ton of time? I'm trying to like skirt around it without going into spoilers kind of thing.
Yeah.
But basically, even though he comes from an Amish background, none of the characters, including him, behave in any way that fits the world that they're in.
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. How do the Amish survive in this modern world, in the world of technology and all that stuff? That'd be really interesting exploration.
He comes from an Amish background, but he works as a bartender. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know that much about, well, to be fair, about Amish too.
Well, they're very kind of devout. I'm not no expert, but they're very devout. They shun modern technology and things like that. But
is that why she, at the beginning of the movie, she brought him a phone? Was that what the whole thing was about?
Yeah, because he didn't have a phone. So, yeah, so Leo doesn't have a phone, and she gives him a phone. She doesn't show him how to use it. She's just like, have at it. There you go. Bye. So he's like... So for a good chunk of the film, he's trying to figure out how to work a phone, which, of course, is gripping to watch.
Oh, God.
No, it's just, I'm a big fan of Duncan Jones. I think as a director, he has great potential, which he showed in Moon and Source Code. And this is just nothing other than a massive disappointment, considering he's had this idea gestating for so many years. Like, he's been trying to get this film made for years and years and years. It's just massively disappointing. Like I've said, I feel like maybe he needs to kind of have a bit of a break. I don't know whether... But
did he write this movie as well?
Yeah. So it's been his idea that he's had for a long time, and it's just bad. It's badly done. I'm a big fan of Alexander Skarsgård, but there's only so much he can
who's
do.
Not?
Yeah. There's only so much he can do with a character that is essentially a piece of cardboard. Again, I'm a huge fan of Paul Rudd and Justin Theroux, but their characters are just horrible. So it's not a good film. There's so many better films to watch. And it did strike me with this and with other films that have come to Netflix recently, stuff like Bright, that Netflix has very much become like the straight-to-video dumping ground of lower-rate movies of our current times. I think Netflix need to kind of have a bit of a look at themselves and sort of shake it up a bit, because they're going to start to become, like, they're going to get a reputation, basically, of like, oh, this new film that Netflix are releasing, oh, it's going to suck, it'll just be a B-movie, kind of, but without the fun. Yeah, no, it's not good. Don't waste your time with it, really. Watch something better instead.
The other thing I noticed, we've got into the mood where there was a lot of 80s related things, and now we're getting into the mood where there's a lot of cyberpunkish things. Yeah. We're going through the stages, because this is definitely sort of in that vein, and the Blade Runner-y vein. Yeah. But I don't know, I'm personally looking forward to Annihilation coming to Netflix, and I think that's where I'm gonna make my decision on what Netflix actually brings to their...
I'm hoping that Annihilation will buck the trend, because based on Ex Machina, Alex Garland is obviously an incredible talent. So, and with Natalie Portman involved, I'm hoping that will be a very strong film. It worries me that it's skipping a cinematic release and just going straight to Netflix.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that it's not going to be for bad reasons.
Well, I mean, I know our sort of view Netflix is a bit limited because we're watching specific things, but if you think about it, the free movies that we watched on Netflix that basically went straight there.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't watch Bright, but it's like sort of a fantasy thing.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 sci-fi movies. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe they're just dumping that type of genre on there because they don't think it's going to do well in the cinema.
Maybe, and it doesn't, like, it's not always bad. Like, look at TV, so Altered Carbon, we really enjoyed that. That came out actually really well. So it's not, I don't think it's a case of Netflix are just bad quality stuff. It just seems that lately, they just seem to have been having a bad run for bad films.
Oh, well, it's a shame about Mute.
So yeah, it's very disappointing. I really love Duncan Jones and I want him to get back to form and make something excellent again, because Moon was so good, and Source Code too, and yeah, it's just, it's a shame. I feel like maybe it would be good for him to go like the Neil Blomkamp route and maybe start investigating some shorter films, like the Oates things that Neil Blomkamp is doing. Maybe sort of try out a few different ideas in a short form variety that might work better. I don't know.
I mean, what disappoints me personally, because Duncan Jones, I don't know, I can take it or leave him. I don't have that much of a relationship with his movies. But Alexander Skarsgård, because look, I've always liked him because if you've watched True Blood, he's the only reason, him and Pam are the only reason you've ever watched it ever.
Yeah.
And then he's just blew me away in Big Little Lies. His performance, he's been...
Well, that's what I mean. He's an incredible actor. He's great. But not in this.
No, and you know, in Big Little Lies, he's like, you honestly understood, you know what, he's not just a hot bod, he's unbelievable actor.
Yeah.
And so I was really looking forward to the next thing that he's in, and here just, nothing.
No.
I got nothing.
Oh well. Hopefully it's just a blip for him and the next thing he does will be much better.
Agreed. Okay, I think that's our show.
I think so. Sorry for the negativity, everybody. Hopefully I'll have something good to talk about next week.
Yeah, at least you know what not to watch.
Yeah.
Let's think of the positive side. You know not to watch because, well, hopefully we explained enough. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to episode 127 of BigRedBarel Geek Speak. You can get in touch with us on all the social medias. So you can go on bigredbarel.com and write to us there. You can go on Twitter at BigRedBarel. You can also chat to us directly. I'm at DustyTulip _.
I'm at Pixel Ritual.
You can also go to Facebook, Facebook.com/BigRedBarel. Go on iTunes, leave us a review. That would be lovely. Pretty sure we're somewhere else that I'm forgetting.
We're everywhere! Like a
We're
germ.
everywhere. Oh yeah, you can leave us a comment on YouTube, like some of these lovely people did. Joe?
Oh yes, so big shout outs and thank yous to StealthyJoe, Stingo, OC Gamer, Will Driver, and our dear Gabriel Romo.
Woo! So yeah, and also just one more shout out for our Discord, which is getting quite busy.
Oh yes.
We're trying to solve mysteries, because I think Big Red Barrel UK is being haunted.
Oh.
I'm convinced, because there's someone who went into their agenda and started typing arse. And I got blamed for it, and I said that would never happen.
Yeah, you'd always
I'm a
type
butt
butts.
person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See?
So I think Big Red Barrel UK have their own personal ghost, and they should be really proud.
Ooh.
We'd be so lucky to get haunted.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we solve the mystery and we can reveal who the culprit was.
Oh yeah. And also, every Tuesday we have Tabletop Tuesday in Loading Bar in Dalston in London. We bring a new feature game to the bar every week, and if you play it in the night, we will take your name and put it in a prize draw, and then we'll randomly give away one copy of the game. So, our game for the week of the 6th of March, I believe if I'm correct in counting, is Unlock 2.
Oh, I love Unlock. The first one's great.
So Unlock is a series, it's sort of a room escape for tabletop, so there's no actually escaping of the room, it's just figuring out the puzzles.
They're so clever. Oh, yeah, that's a great game.
There you go. We've got Joe approval.
Yeah, you got my recommendation. Not that it's worth anything.
So yes, come on tonight, have a go at it, and maybe you'll win a copy. Or play a really great game. So either or, I think it's a win.
You're a winner.
Okay, have I forgotten anything? Is there anything else?
I think that's all good. I think we're all covered.
So for episode 127, I've been Butts.
I have been Joe.
And we bid you goodbye.
Bye.
Butts.
your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarel.com
for more podcasts?
news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarel.com.